Hello, everyone. I'm Mike. Today, we're going to talk about 4 prophecies. On July 13th, 2024, a shocking event occurred that the world could not forget. Trump was attacked during his presidential campaign speech. Fortunately, he narrowly escaped the danger. So, for such a sudden incident, someone actually predicted its occurrence with pinpoint accuracy. This person is an American Christian pastor and prophet named Brandon Biggs. How far in advance did he predict it? The prophecy was made 4 months earlier, and the process was also consistent. The most amazing part is that it was completely accurate. I've never seen such a precise prophecy. Just saying someone will be assassinated wouldn't cut it. The likelihood of his prophecy being a mere guess is virtually non-existent. His descriptions were just too specific, and I'll tell you the extent of it in a moment. This prophecy was released on a channel called Steve Joklin and Exploration Department. The title of the video is 3 Prophets Explain the Signs of the April 8th Solar Eclipse in the United States. On April 8th, 2024, a total solar eclipse occurred in the United States, visible in 15 states. The video was uploaded on March 15, 2024, exactly 4 months before the event. The 3 prophets mentioned here are the hosts of the channel. The Asian-looking one is Steve Joklin. The female prophet on the right is Amanda Grace, and the male prophet on the left is today's protagonist, Brandon Biggs, a pastor who is also a prophet. The video, which is nearly 45 minutes long, discusses the total solar eclipse that would occur in the United States on April 8, 2024. The hosts invited 2 prophets to analyze the celestial event and predict future occurrences. This prophecy also drew on 2 previous solar eclipses in the United States in 2017 and 2023, as well as biblical interpretations. The most important part was their own visions they received through prayer. These 3 individuals can see certain scenes, but not every day, only at specific times. By the way, the next total solar eclipse visible in the United States won't happen for another 20 years. On August 23, 2044, starting at the 8th minute of the video, Biggs recounts the scenes he saw during a prayer session. During his prayer, God showed him some visions. He said that after the Passover, the world's geopolitical landscape would change rapidly. Passover is an important Jewish holiday commemorating the liberation of the Israelites from Egyptian slavery. It usually occurs in spring but follows the Jewish calendar, so the date varies each year. In 2024, Passover began on April 22nd and lasted until April 29th. His video was uploaded on March 15th, and he mentioned that the solar eclipse on April 8th would mark the beginning of rapid changes in the world's geopolitical landscape after Passover. He said these drastic changes would primarily affect the economy, politics, military situation, and climate. He mentioned that temperatures in the eastern United States, such as in Chicago and New York, would soar to record highs, and more severe storms and tornadoes would occur in many places. He said that this destruction and disaster would continue until the fall of that year, affecting all areas of the United States. He said that in the visions God showed him, the face of an Asian prophet appeared. It was the man in the middle of the 3, the host of the channel. He said that this person, Steve Joklin, would play an important role in leading Americans into a new era of change. He also saw that this person would be a key figure in the prophecy, and that cooperation would be mutually beneficial. He also saw flames across the United States, symbolizing Trump's rise to power. He said these flames were not literal fires, but represented Trump's influence, like a red flame. He saw someone trying to take Trump's life, with a bullet flying past Trump's ear. He gestured to show the bullet flying by, hitting the right ear. He said that because the bullet was so close, it even damaged his eardrum. But in reality, Trump's eardrum was not injured. It was just his ear. He might have felt it, but he couldn't have seen where the bullet went or how it injured someone else. Perhaps it was just his perception. After all, they were just visions, and he had to interpret them himself. He also saw Trump kneeling in prayer, and in that moment, he was reborn. Trump was reborn, and people said he was saved. But he believed it was Jesus who saved him and led the American people to a new beginning. He saw Trump burning with passion and ultimately winning the U.S. election. Next, God revealed to him that this summer, Trump would face the greatest threat. In fact, the assassination attempt on Trump occurred on July 13th, which is in the summer. All difficulties would descend upon him. But after that, everything would turn around, and he would break free from these constraints. He saw that patriots would vote Trump to victory. The key point is that he also foresaw a massive financial crisis coming afterward. He mentioned the specific timing later, and I'll talk about it in a bit. He saw that this financial crisis would be worse than the Great Depression. The Lord told him that this would be humanity's darkest hour. He saw the earth shaking and Trump praying in the Oval Office. He wasn't sure if it was the president's office, but the Oval Office in the White House is indeed oval-shaped. He also saw Trump kneeling and weeping before God, surrounded by U.S. cabinet members and other people he didn't recognize, all praying silently as if something very serious was about to happen. After the financial crisis, he saw a new era dawning, a green and prosperous age. God said that all these upheavals were meant to awaken humanity, to correct past mistakes. It wasn't about economics. It was about awakening people. It was about realizing that wars and wrongdoings needed to be acknowledged and corrected. That was the end of Biggs's prophecy. Then the Asian host said he also foresaw Trump winning with a landslide victory. But even so, people were not ready for the new era. A financial crisis or war might still happen, but nothing could destroy the entire world. Everything would eventually get better. The female prophet also spoke, saying that the disasters of the past 4 years, including pandemics and wars, were allowed by God to show the consequences of not reflecting on our actions. She said people needed to reflect and make the right choices to avoid further disasters. That's what the three of them said. They all saw similar things, with no contradictions. Biggs just gave more details. The other two were more general. To sum up, Biggs saw a bullet flying past Trump's right ear during his prayer, narrowly escaping death and being reborn. Yang mentioned that Trump would face legal troubles and opposition from enemies but would still be elected. He saw Trump in the Oval Office, not celebrating but weeping because the United States had fallen into a depression worse than that of 1929. But God told him that this was a painful rebirth, and a bright green era would come. That was the whole parable. In fact, after the incident, Trump posted on social media that he had narrowly escaped thanks to divine protection. He emphasized that they would not be afraid and would stand against evil forces with faith. His prophecy was so detailed, but no one investigated after Trump was attacked. There were actually more serious things than this, but they are not convenient to talk about in public. All right, let's get back to the main topic. Biggs has his own channel called Last Day. So far, he has posted fewer than 170 videos, all about the scenes he saw in his prophecies. He doesn't have visions very often, but whenever he does, he would reflect on the details and interpret the content, so he made some statements. From his descriptions, it was basically the same type. During prayer, he suddenly saw some scenes. This person should have been quite famous before this prophecy, which is why he was invited as a guest on other channels. His most viewed video was not this one, but one uploaded on June 29, 2023. The title of the video is, Jesus took me through the Great Tribulation and showed me what will happen. This prophecy happened in 2014. He said that 10 years ago, he saw some scenes shown to him by God during his prayer, which were different from the ones shown this time. It included some apocalyptic scenes. The sky was filled with lightning, cities were ablaze, and people were in a state of panic. God led him through these scenes, showing him various visions. He also saw a Middle Eastern leader at a conference in Berlin, discussing with world leaders how to resolve global unrest. Then he saw many people in white robes kneeling in front of a large screen. The screen showed someone who might be very influential in the future. He also saw aliens, and he later explained what they looked like. He also saw the world gradually recovering from turmoil, and the end result was good, but there were many upheavals and disasters along the way. In his more recent videos, he has given detailed explanations. In this parable, he mentions some of the content I just talked about, such as the natural disasters and what the financial crisis is all about. But it's all about the United States. He said it would start in the US and then affect the world. Biggs said that the financial crisis will erupt at some point between this September and 2025. The US financial system will undergo drastic changes, and there will be a massive redistribution of wealth. Poor people may become rich, and the rich may become poor. He believes that the current US financial system is a fraudulent one, and it will collapse completely, to be replaced by a new system. Specifically, the dollar will lose its status as the world's benchmark currency and may depreciate to 1/3 of its current value overnight. He didn't see exactly when this would happen, but he strongly felt that it would occur between September and December of this year. October 24th is particularly noteworthy because the Great Depression of 1929 began on October 24th. On October 24th, 1929, the New York Stock Exchange plummeted, marking the start of the Great Depression, which had a huge impact on the global economy until mid-1930. He believes this event will be similar to, if not worse than, the Great Depression. So October 24th is something to keep an eye on. We'll see what happens and whether his prediction will come true again. But he also talked about how to avoid this situation. As a countermeasure, he advised people to pay attention to the precious metals market. The Indian psychic Anand once said to buy gold. Has gold increased in value? He also said to buy precious metals, either gold or silver. When did he say this? He said it this month, and it's still a good time to buy. He said that in the vision, the price of gold would soar to $10,000 per ounce. Currently, it's at $2,500 per ounce, a fourfold increase. That means each gram would be around $80, 570 renminbi, 61 British pounds, or 72 euros, a fourfold increase. He not only saw the price of gold in the vision, but also the price of silver, which would soar to 6 times its current value. Currently, it's at $28.72 per ounce, and he saw it at $173 per ounce. That means each gram, currently worth about $1, would become 6 times more valuable, around 40 RMB per gram. Whether he bought it or not, I don't know. He said that the current world financial system was formed after 1971 when Nixon decoupled the dollar from gold, effectively ending the Bretton Woods system. The dollar no longer had a gold backing and became a fiat currency, whose value was determined by government trust and economic strength, not gold reserves. From that point on, a new global financial system was born. So he believes it's entirely possible for the world financial system to change overnight, possibly due to a single decision that could completely transform the world. He said that after 1971, the direct link between paper money and food disappeared, and money became a kind of digital game. Everyone was manipulated by those who set the rules of this digital game. In fact, you didn't realize that your wealth wasn't real wealth, but just a bunch of numbers. He said this digital game couldn't last long because more and more people saw through the scam, and the collapse of this system was just a matter of time. He increasingly felt that this system was on the verge of collapse. He said not to worry about the old financial system collapsing because a new and sound system would emerge. However, this transition would cause significant social turmoil because, with the birth of new enterprises, wealth would be redistributed again. This was something many people wanted to see, but some didn't, and it was unavoidable. He said he clearly saw in his vision a group of wealthy people dressed in expensive clothes lining up to receive food. This indicated that previously wealthy individuals might suddenly find themselves in Kunjing. He saw that it happened very suddenly. The increase in gold prices by 4 times may not happen in a day, but the change in the financial system could occur in just one day. It's like in 1971 when the United States made a decision and the world changed overnight. He said it would be similar to that. While the wealthy are lining up for food, what are the less affluent people doing? He also saw that most people would return to a more natural way of living, with a slower pace and greater happiness. But isn't buying gold now just getting a piece of paper, a number? That's paper gold, not real gold. It's just a receipt that you can keep there and then store at home. Let me emphasize here that you can choose not to believe it. This is just his prophecy, a scene he saw through remote viewing. Don't take it as the absolute truth. He saw a bullet, but that's all. You might buy, I might not, but I might hold off on selling. That's the idea. He himself admitted that it's hard for these prophecies to be accurate every time. He said that not all the scenes he's seen have come true. Only some have. He also mentioned that virtual currencies could be an investment. He saw very high prices in his visions. From now on, I won't specifically mention which virtual currency, but if you're interested, you can look into it yourself. In his videos, he emphasized that this is not something that will definitely happen in the future. It's just what he saw in his prophecies. He himself stressed that these are just prophecies, not predictions. Although he added his own analysis, they are not his predictions. He believes that these visions he saw through prayer come from a higher dimensional spiritual world, which might be from a parallel universe or might not happen in our universe at all. You said this explanation is very good. In fact, it has happened, right? If it's something sudden, like next year, it's too sudden, isn't it? Bitcoin was something no one believed in at first, but it increased by 10,000 times. Do you believe it? Even now, not many people believe it, right? 10,000 times. But compared to Bitcoin, physical gold still feels more tangible. He didn't mention Bitcoin. I'm emphasizing he didn't mention Bitcoin. He just mentioned virtual currencies. Bitcoin might increase in value, but it won't reach the same level as that other coin, multiplying by that much. He saw in his vision that Europe would be plunged into the threat of terrorism. He saw a green train departing from Germany, filled with dangerous items. He didn't know what that meant. He also explained in his video what he meant by the darkest hour. He said the darkest hour is literally pitch black, not just a metaphor. He saw the United States plunged into darkness like a prolonged blackout, but then he saw light emerging. So he believes the darkest hour is a necessary phase before a bright future arrives. He advises people not to be afraid during the darkest hour, but to pray devoutly. After the darkest hour, a large number of souls will awaken and humanity will evolve. He explained how human evolution would happen. He said he saw human evolution in his vision, but it's not about physical changes. It's about the evolution of consciousness, like when humans first developed awareness. What does this evolution feel like? Many people will develop the ability to communicate through thoughts or read others' minds. He also saw many people gaining the ability to see into the future, like him. There were even those who could influence the physical world with their minds, like moving objects with their thoughts. This is also a form of evolution. He said these abilities are not out of nowhere. They are latent in human genes. They have always been there but were dormant. It's not just for the chosen few. When these genes are awakened, people will gain these abilities. How can they be awakened? He believes it might be related to technology. For example, he saw scientists working on brain-computer interfaces, and the subjects of these experiments awakened these abilities. There were phenomena that science couldn't explain. For example, while trying to figure out how to read someone's brain, the person ended up reading other people's minds. It might be a discovery in the research, but it's not a scientific outcome. Science also cannot explain it. As research on the human brain progresses, more and more inexplicable phenomena will emerge, and the more we study, the more puzzled we become. Because of these changes, the boundaries between the material and spiritual worlds will begin to blur, and people's understanding of the world will also change, which means that human spirituality will ascend to a new level. At that time, people's understanding of time will also change, and people will be able to live simultaneously in the past, present, and future. It's really like ascending to a new dimension. He said that human evolution will be a slow process, but some people will awaken and evolve first. Next, he explained about climate anomalies. He said that the United States will experience large-scale temperature anomalies, huge tornadoes, hurricanes, and that earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, typhoons, floods, and other natural disasters worldwide will increase dramatically, out of proportion to previous years. He said that this phenomenon is not a simple meteorological issue, but a divine signal. He said that this is a preparation for the world to enter a new era and a new epoch. This kind of imagery makes people realize that the world is changing, the earth is changing, and it is no longer the world you know. He reminded people that the world cannot be considered unchanging. He said that in his vision, he also saw a singularity. He said that a new kind of social media will replace the existing networks and digital technology. This new kind of social media is completely conscious communication, no typing, no voice, no video, a fully conscious kind of social media. He saw a breakthrough in the field of energy in his vision. He said that a new type of energy will replace our existing chemical energy. It is pollution-free and inexpensive. This new type of energy is beyond modern physics. It is not discovered through physical research, which means it is not nuclear energy. He said that this technology can be used by us, but we cannot understand it and cannot explain it. This kind of energy is considered impossible by science. He said that this kind of energy is likely to come from the quantum field or the cosmic background energy. It is a kind of energy from the universe that is constantly radiated on the Earth. You can use it as soon as you take it. We have always thought that there is no energy. The result is similar to the zero-point field energy mentioned in the quantum mechanics interpretation of the dead world. There is a lot of energy in the vacuum where there is nothing in this space. If we use one of the energies, it will be very large and can boil the whole ocean. It is a kind of magical ability. He said that after this kind of energy was born, people had high expectations for it because it could solve many social problems, such as poverty and environmental problems. But because it conflicted with the vested interest groups, its popularization encountered great difficulties. This is what he saw in his vision. A nearly free and good energy was produced, but this energy was not allowed to be used. He said that in his vision, people will make contact with aliens in the near future. He said that these aliens are different from what we imagine and what we see in current films and television works, because they are not physical beings in a strict sense. Contact with aliens will allow human knowledge and technology to develop rapidly. This new energy may also be related to aliens, and our view of the universe will also change dramatically. He also emphasized that the other side is not hostile, but even can be said to be helpful. However, the emergence of alien life has indeed caused panic and confusion among some Earthlings, so maybe we should be psychologically prepared from now on. He said he did not see when we would make contact with aliens, but he felt it should be very soon, probably within 10 years. He said that from now on, we will realize some signs of the existence of aliens, such as more sightings of supernatural phenomena, and the government will also release more relevant information to let people gradually accept the fact of the existence of aliens. For us, it is important to accept all possibilities and not to think that something is impossible. Everything is possible. He said that the collapse is not only a physical experience, but also includes the education system. The current standardized education system, in which many people receive education together, will be completely dismantled. In his vision, future education will be tailored to each child, targeting their interests and talents to create personalized educational content. This kind of educational method will become the mainstream. One-to-one or many-to-one, many words are tailored for you. You learn what you are good at. If you are not good at Chinese, you don't learn Chinese. If you are not good at math, you don't learn math and play to your strengths. The medical system will also undergo great changes. He said that the Western medical system, which focuses on curing the body, will shift to a holistic medical system that integrates body and mind. A new kind of medicine will be born, called quantum medicine, which will perform medicine at the quantum level, enabling many incurable diseases to be treated. He emphasized that this does not mean that there are no diseases in human beings, but that most diseases can be treated. Diseases that are now considered difficult to treat may become easy to treat in the near future. In particular, cancer and autoimmune diseases, which are now considered difficult to treat in medicine, will see a revolutionary new way of treatment. Preventive medicine will make great progress, and the prevention of diseases will become simpler and more popular. In short, human life expectancy will be greatly extended, and these are all things that may happen in the near future. Beyond the Earth, he also saw some scenes. He saw that the Earth's magnetic field would weaken, indicating an increased possibility of polar reversal. We will make a special video to explain the polar reversal in the future. The Earth has indeed experienced polar reversal before. He said that before and during the polar reversal, the Earth will experience large-scale natural disasters, and electronic equipment and communication system failures will increase significantly. But he emphasized that the polar reversal would not lead to the extinction of humanity. He also saw that humans would establish permanent settlements on the Moon and Mars within 50 years. Finally, he particularly emphasized that no matter what difficulties we encounter, please do not give up. All difficulties and disasters are just a necessary process before things get better. As long as we persist, dawn will come, and everything will get better. Amen. That's all he prophesied that he could talk about. I've summarized it for you. There are still some parts that can't be talked about or are not convenient to talk about, and you can go to his channel to see for yourself. Regarding Trump's incident, in addition to Big's prophecy, there are also some others that are considered prophecies. Is this detailed enough? It's actually quite detailed, like the Majestic card. We've talked about the Majestic card before. It's a card game that was issued in 1982. It has attracted widespread attention because it has successfully predicted many major events. There is a very famous card in it, and the person drawn on the card looks very much like Trump. The title says, "Enough is enough," which means enough is enough. The words below are also very thought-provoking, saying, "Our snipers can kill you anywhere and at any time. Have a nice day." There's also a line on the right side of this picture. Some people think this is a bullet flying in from the right. If you say so, it's really possible. The content and the picture match very well. It can't be considered an overinterpretation. So let's change the card. But the most accurate thing said in all of them is the price of gold and silver. Yeah, you can verify it by this. He said it would quadruple in a short time? No, he didn't see the exact time, but he felt it was related to this financial depression. If there is no exact time, it is possible to quadruple. The current gold price is much better than before, but only he saw that scene.